Hi everyone, welcome to SOS Marketing. I'm here with the amazing Amy, and she's going to share with us some marketing tips that will help you during this COVID crisis. Amy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks so much, Victoria, for having me. I really appreciate you guys at Wishpond and all that you're doing to just create resources for our small business owner community because there's never been a time like this in business before. I think we all need it. So thank you, first of all, for having me. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for being here. So I
Welcome.
hear that you have a few points that can help some business owners. Why don't you give us a brief introduction on what that is?
Awesome. Well, I am a client acquisition specialist. And so I help my clients find the simplest, most effective way to acquire their ideal client consistently. And one of the things that I have found in the last few weeks is we've got a lot of businesses who are used to, they had a path to acquire clients that involved being face-to-face. Your clients come into your restaurant, they come into your gym. I have a lot of clients who are in the medical space, they come into the office. And now all of a sudden they're not coming in. And so we've got to adjust and figure out how do we acquire our clients online. And the great news is we've been doing this for a long time already. It's not like we're paving new territory. All the tools are already in place that we need. It's just that we have to adjust our strategy. So as I've been working with my business owners and trying to help them figure out what do they need to adjust and how do they pivot in order to really keep the doors open and keep their business thriving, there's really 4 areas that I've been talking with them about. And the first one is your offer. So it's not business as usual, and clients' needs have changed dramatically in the last few weeks. So what the service that they wanted before and the way that they wanted to experience that service has really changed. But I cannot tell you how many people I have talked to in the last few weeks that are like, apparently my only hobby in life is eating out because I am craving all the things, or people who are just, they're going crazy at home and they're wanting normalcy, but you can't deliver what you've always delivered. And so the businesses who are adjusting their offer in order to be more of a virtual delivery are doing well. The businesses that are not are the ones that they're not transacting new business right now. And I want to give you an example of something that you would think cannot be done so that it can open up your minds. I have a client who is an orthodontist, and I was just chatting with them today. Now, you would think in order to see the orthodontist, you have to go in, right? Because they have to
Right?
scan your teeth and they have to put you in the x-ray machine, and like you have to be in person. They closed 4 new cases yesterday, and they had 8 new exams because they're doing it all virtually. And what
How?
they did, the technology exists, and that's the thing. A lot of your technology exists too. You just haven't tapped into it in this way. So people can take pictures of their smile and they can send it in, and then the doctor can analyze it on his computer, and he can put together what their Invisalign package should look like. They can send Invisalign straight to you. Like, they can do all of it virtually. They just had never been forced to. And here's what I want you to understand is if you are a gym, you can hold your classes virtually. And you know what? Your people really need it, because I don't know about you all, but I feel like I'm going to come out of COVID having gained 19 if I don't do something real quick, right?
So it's almost like you're saying this crisis is highlighting tools and softwares that businesses who require physical visits can find a new alternative to keep going despite what's going on.
Yes, if you'll think outside the box. So for example, right now for our gym owners, right now would be a great time to put together a challenge Facebook group. And in order to be a part of that challenge Facebook group, they need to subscribe, and you're going to post in there workout videos every single day and encouragements and recipes and meal plans and things that you can do at home with limited, like do squats against your wall. I mean, that kind of stuff. They don't have all of their home gym equipment, but they still want their services with you. They really do. And so, but here's the other part. You might need to adjust your price point, because right now there are people who have been laid off. So maybe that price point for that virtual challenge group is not the same as what it would have been, but it's better than nothing. And you can actually, through that model, acquire new clients outside of your local market that you wouldn't have had access to otherwise. So sales don't have to go down. You just really have to adjust your strategy.
Because if I pay for a 1-year gym membership and all of this is going on, I still want my gym membership.
Yeah. You want to access it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But as a gym or even a restaurant, having to adjust my price, what does that look like in terms of my customer relation? Because my customers are used to a certain price. So how do I go about that change?
Well, there's a couple things that you can do. So, one is that you can have, and we'll do the gym and then I'll circle back to some restaurant examples. One is that you can have a new price for this virtual only that's different, so that your people, maybe if your people are used to being on a certain amount per month and they don't mind that it's going virtual, they're just happy you're still providing the service. You don't have to drop your price for them, but to get new people to sign up right now, new enrollments, I think you may need to look at your offer and you may need to look at your price. And, and then the goal is that when they come back in, now there's a reason for why the price is different, because now they have access to all of the equipment and all of the classes, but you're just providing kind of like a scaled down offering for the meantime. For our restaurants, here's what I would be doing if I were you. I would be marketing. I always think through this question when I'm talking to a business owner. If I had your business, what would I do? What I would do is localize marketing to like a neighborhood, and I would take orders and I would go and do deliveries to like a small geographical area. So that way you're not wasting gas driving around all over the place. But you could also cater at home parties. Think about how many kids are having lonely, sad birthday parties right now. And my oldest is a senior in high school and graduation is canceled.
Oh,
But
wow.
we're still wanting to celebrate. We're still wanting to have date nights. We're still wanting to have a break from cooking. It's boring being at home every single day doing the exact same things,
So
trying to
it's
look.
almost like businesses can take the opportunity to provide a small slice of normal for their customers.
Yes,
Amazing.
absolutely. And if you can market to a local area, like you could go on Monday and you could deliver flyers to a neighborhood saying we are collecting orders for this Friday night, date night in, and then encourage them to call in. You can also use your email list or your text list if you've been collecting that kind of information from your clients. And if you haven't, now's the time. You really need to start, because they are predicting, although I am a perpetual optimist, I'm hoping not, but they're predicting that this is not going to be our only round of quarantine in fighting this virus, that we may have another round of quarantine that comes in the fall.
I think possibly two waves. So this is the
Yeah,
first wave, and there's a second wave that might come. So businesses have to prepare for that as well, along with
absolutely.
the global recession.
Yep. And, I was just talking this morning with an accountant who said the one thing we need to remember is that this is not 2008, where it dipped after the economy was already sluggish. The economy has been great and people do have money. They're just spending it cautiously, and they will go back to spending when we come out, because they do have money in savings. A lot of people do. Maybe not everybody, but we need to be open to the fact that it's not going to be doom and gloom. It's just not business as usual, and we need to come up with a long-term game plan so that we're ready for whatever's coming our way. And the thing that I love about this is right now it is forcing us to innovate. But all the innovation that we do right now will leave us with a better, stronger business before, because you'll open up new revenue channels that you didn't see and that you didn't think of. And now you'll have more options available at your fingertips. So I love that.
That's actually really great. I agree. I agree. What's the next point that you had in mind?
Okay, so the next point is your community, which is so important. A lot of, if you have a gym, you have a community. There's a feel, there's people, they go, they see their friends. They're really missing out on that. If it's a restaurant, you've got your team, you've got your, staff, you've got your regulars that come in, and there is a sense of community around your business that you can't let die right now, because what will happen is it's out of sight, out of mind. And so if you're not in front of them and creating that same type of experience and community, when you come back, you might come back to less people, which nobody's going to be able to afford to do.
Right?
We need to come back to business being strong. This is where I think your social media is critical. If I owned a restaurant right now, I would seriously be like staging tables with Barbie and Ken and feeding them little meals and being like, wish you were here. Like, I would be talking to my people and coming up with as many funny and interesting and engaging ways to remind them, like, hey, we're still here. I would do cooking classes online and show them how to make how to make some of my favorite recipes from home. I would be having, asking team members, which I know some of them you may be paying through the the new payroll
Right.
protection plan. Some of them you may not be. So just be judicious in what you ask. But if you've got people that you're still paying, I would be asking them to create content for your social media and having, those familiar faces that they
Right.
know and love do videos of themselves at home in their quarantine. Like, hey guys, I so wish I could be eating XYZ tonight, but instead it's a peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
sandwich. So
And
we
it
thought
also takes the weight load off of trying to come up with all the content ideas yourself. So you
yeah,
have a team pitching in.
and they love those people, right? Like that's part of the community, is they love to see those people. You can also do a good job. This is a great time to have your customers do challenges where they are taking pictures of themselves and tagging you in it, and just keeping that engagement flowing. So the community, I think, is going to be really critical, and you need to think through that. Like, just because doors are closed does not mean you're not still in business, and what you do today determines what you come back to whenever this all ends, hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. That's so true.
Yep.
So you're saying, one, remember that it's not business as usual. You have to find new ways, maybe tools that you overlooked that you can do to continue to serve your community virtually. And two, remember to nurture your community and grow it so you can go back to something bigger.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the third tip is to think through the experience. How can you create a wow experience for your people when there is very little that's wowing them right now? So the competition is not fierce at the moment. So, for example, I saw a restaurant that was doing delivery packages where inside it was Corona, they called it like quarantine survival. And so it was like a nice meal with a roll of toilet paper. Um,
Oh, that's so nice.
yeah, I mean, just like, what can you do that goes the extra mile and wows them? Can you buy candles from the 99-cent store and make it a candlelit dinner when you do your deliveries? Can you have your trainers in your gym actually do personal calls and just say, hey, we just wanted to check in on you and we wanted to make sure that you are doing well and that your family is healthy? But what can you do right now to create a wow experience? Because the thing about when people come in is it's easy when they're in your space to wow them. You've thought that through, you've planned for it, and those little extra things that you've built into your processes that make such a difference, they're not happening right now. But you can still take those same core values that you have, and you can still go and show that to the people and really create an amazing experience for them. You just have to rethink it.
That's so true. And a lot of people forget that your customer service is a part of your marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's part of that customer journey. And if we drop the ball as soon, like, oh, they bought something, done. Well, I mean, they're going to come back to you or they're not. So let's do our best to make sure that they come back.
That's
And
very
then my
true.
fourth thing is I really think now is the time to build your online platform. Where you want to build that is up to you. My strongest platform that I put the most time into is YouTube. And that's a great platform for me because I have a lot of content to share all the time. And so I produce content and I put it out there continuously. Maybe it's Instagram for you. Maybe it's LinkedIn. Maybe it's Facebook. But wherever it is, now is the time. I think this is the lesson to learn. You need email addresses. You need phone numbers so you can do text message marketing. There's Facebook bots, chat bots that you can use. You need a channel to be able to communicate with people and send your messages directly into their homes. They need to hear your voice. They need to hear your story. If business is tough, like, they need to be hearing what you're doing and what your plan is, and just telling them, hey guys, thank you so much for reaching out and checking in on us. I just want you to know, yeah, this is kind of a crazy tough time, but we appreciate your support, and here's how you can support us, and here's how we're supporting you. You've got to build an online platform because here's the reality. Over the next few months, some businesses are not going to make it. and others will, right? And if you want to be the one who makes it, you've got to learn how to do business virtually. And the ones who struggle with that will be the ones that they're trying to ride out the storm. And then when they come back in, you know, they're going to be, I don't think in reality that people are going to go back to normal like this. I think what's going to happen is we're going to be closed for a while, and then we're going to be very cautious, and we're still going to be limiting what we do. And then it will go back to normal. And so a lot of people are only planning to get through that first phase and then hoping that when doors open, it's back to normal. And I don't think it is. I think the need to be virtual is going to last longer. So if you'll do it, you're going to be so much stronger.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so I would also ask you, what if I'm implementing all of these, I'm trying my best to keep ahead, what's one tip that you think as a restaurant owner, as a gym owner, as someone who has physical services, that I should really keep in mind, the number one rule I should keep in mind along all the way to make sure my customers are okay?
Okay, so I have one answer that's not what you asked, and then I'll answer your question too. So the number one thing I think you should be doing, because my brain was going to protect your business, is selling. So I want you to have a sales goal
during
every
this time.
week. Yeah, because here's the thing, people are willing to buy if you position it in a way that they can buy. And so if you're adjusting your offers, you need to be selling every single week. Have a sales goal. Maybe it's a modified sales goal. Maybe it's not what it would have been. But for your business, you selling is the number one thing that you can do. For your customers, I think the number one thing that you can do is you can make your messaging relevant for them and empathetic for what they're going through, and be a voice of hope for them. I think there's so much doom and gloom, I mean, I'm not watching the news right now, and there's just so much bad news.
Same.
So create some good news for them, create some stories for them to cheer for, some things that they can look forward to. Like if you send something around about date night in and start promoting that gives them something to look forward to on their Friday night. If you want to do like a couples yoga class, that gives them something to look forward to. So give them hope, give them things to look forward to. And for you got to be selling even right now. I have an associate of mine who closed $100,000 in business in March, her best month ever, because she was like, you know what? People really need what I have to offer right now more than ever. And she repositioned her offer. She restructured it so that it was highly relevant. It made sense. She had one of her best months in business ever. And I don't see why that can't be all of us. That's
so true. That is so true. Okay. Anything else before we end the video? Anything else you'd like to share with SOS Marketing viewers?
Sure. I'd love to give you all a free copy of my book, if that's okay.
Oh, that's great. What's your book about?
Awesome. So it is called the I'm Not a Salesperson Sales Book. And it's to teach you how to really sell like a natural, even if you don't feel like you're a natural born salesperson. And really right now, we all need to be very focused on making sure that we've got sales coming in consistently. Right. So I think it'll be a great resource for you. And I'd love to just give you you can get a digital version for straight up free. If you love, I love the like actual, I actually want a book in my hands.
Yeah, I'm a hardcover book person as well.
I am too. I even just, love the smell of books. I just love books. So if that's you, I'll send you a book for free as well. You just need to pay for shipping. So if you go to www.salesaремything.com, you'll be able to get the digital book. And if you want to order the physical copy, you can. You just pay for shipping and we'll send it right out to you.
Okay, thank you. So guys, remember, number one thing, sales are important, trying to make it through this, making sure that at the end of it, you're not coming back just to the same thing or an empty restaurant or gym. You're coming to a restaurant or gym with customers. And remember that Amy also has a really cool sales book, especially if you're not a salesperson and you really need to know how to connect with your customers and get your message out there. Thank you so much, Amy, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Stay safe. And thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me and putting this together.